You're watching and listening to Conscious Evolution Media, shifting global consciousness at consciousevolutionmedia.com.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Kids Talk Foundation, a global nonprofit organization providing youth advocacy, television programming, and training services in the United States, along with comprehensive medical and educational services for the developing world, most recently in Kenya, Africa, where Kids Talk Foundation provides a feeding program, medical care, and educational services to over 1,300 young people each day. Please help our youth and place your donation. Go to www.kidstalk.org. Are you in the entertainment industry? If you answered yes and you want to promote yourself, your passion, and profession, check out Creative Independent Artists magazines at CIAartists.com. Endorsed by Kids Talk Foundation worldwide.
Maxed Out Money Hour is your internet TV program all about money and what makes it go around to have it work for you, or not. Host Ninan and Coach Steve will be featuring informative interviews with financial companies, CEOs, and executives, providing insights into the financial world and their products, services, operations, and an outlook for our financial future. Here are your hosts, Ninan and Coach Steve.
Welcome, everybody, to the Maxed Out Money Hour Internet TV show on this lovely Tuesday afternoon, and we are lined up with our president with the State of the Union, so I'm sure everybody's watching us.
Oh, we're in the competition, huh?
Versus,
we're in no competition.
Watching
we
the
are
president.
The competition. We are the competition, Steve. All right. Hey, how are you, Steve?
I'm doing great, thank you. And you?
Awesome. Awesome.
Fantastic. All right, so let's welcome my co-host Ninan de Verderosa from Las Vegas, and also Linda Romano. She's joining us from
Marina Del Rey, California.
Fantastic.
Oh,
and I'm, of course, joining all of you from our Internet TV studio, Denver, Colorado. And we're going to have an awesome show for you this evening. Do you have any news?
I have a little bit of news. You know, I always dig up something somewhere along the ground, what's going on. You know, we have in Las Vegas. Okay, Las Vegas has been down in the dumps for a long time. They all say it's moving up and everything's doing great. Well, maybe it is and maybe it isn't. But let's take a positive side on it, because that's me, right, Steve?
Yes,
we have
that's just like our economy.
Well, we don't... Positive.
Depending on who you talk to, it's doing well or it's not doing well.
Yeah, well,
you go figure.
Well. It's doing well. Well, it's doing well in my bank account, put it that way. But on that, you know, living in Nevada, which I've only been here for a year, and it's been quite exciting, and sort of watching, you know, how people are moving around, what's going on in the buildings, and none of the casinos that were half-built are still half-built, and they've still got, you know, they've still got construction work around them, and nothing's really happening with them. And now they're becoming an eyesore for Vegas. So now all the city council and everybody is all involved into what's going to happen with them. Do they pull them down or do they continue building them? So we put a big question mark there. Let's see what happens. Also, there's a gentleman called Bruce Breslow, and he's actually in sort of the government side of Vegas. And he's trying to raise $150 million to try to get people to keep their homes that are underwater. And there's also a big threat of 52,000 homes marching towards foreclosure. Keeps it unstable for him to try to raise his $150 million. So we all sort of sort all this money out. We all ask for it, and nothing seems to happen. So they're going to try to help some of the people with the underwater homes, but not others. So they're going to, like, choose. Now, the reason the banks can't get involved in this, quote unquote, is because they cannot choose others against others, apparently. So that's a bit of a dilemma. So on the upper side of it, at least we have Bruce Breslow trying to do something for our poor people here that are going underwater. So apparently we've got 52 more thousand homes that might go into foreclosure. Interesting, right? So this will be interesting to Linda down the line as we introduce our guest. You know, Linda Romano. Hey, how are you?
Yeah. Also, just let me add something to that. It's
Okay.
a new phenomenon that's happening that we may want to keep an eye on, which is people are committing suicides over evictions.
Not surprising, because a lot of the very, very well-to-do men have also already committed suicide, because like us losing $1,000 and him losing $10 million is about the same thing. So he goes and commits suicide because he can't handle it all. So it's the same sort of thing, Steve, and it's sad.
Yeah, well, it is very sad.
So what do we tell them, Steve? We tell them to just hang in there, and I mean, I could say a lot, but I don't know if I really want to. Like, I can't tell them what to do, but I don't know if it's legal or not. I have to be careful. I guess what I could ask them to do, anybody out there that's in a dilemma, give me a call. Right? Go to your website, give me a call, and I'll help. I will absolutely help you. Okay?
Yeah, hire somebody to
Yeah.
help you. If you can't handle it alone,
Just to
handle
hire
it with
anybody.
somebody else.
I'll do it for free for them, so they can keep their home.
Okay, great.
Okay? Woo-hoo.
Let's focus our attention to Linda. Linda,
Hi
what do you want to talk
there.
about?
Thank you for having me. I'm
You're
really excited to be here. And Ninon, you look gorgeous as usual. And
So do
Steve,
I.
I'm not so sure, but yeah, you're a good-looking guy.
He's looking, isn't he? He's Hungarian.
Oh my gosh! Now I know why you're good-looking. I had a Hungarian grandmother.
There you go.
There you go. Do you speak
Yes.
any Hungarian?
No, this is a difficult language.
Oh,
You're
Yeah, it
Italian,
is.
right, Linda?
I'm 3/4 Italian, 1/4 Hungarian, and I actually had an opportunity to visit Budapest. What a beautiful, beautiful country Hungary is. So
yeah, that's where I was
push
born.
there.
Yeah, Budapest is the Paris of Eastern Europe.
It's beautiful. I spent a Christmas there, Steve, and it was the most beautiful Christmas I think I ever had. It was just amazing.
Oh, wow.
Magical,
It's a
I
fantastic
imagine.
place.
It's the
Yeah.
architecture's just.
The funniest thing was, and I have to mention this, is that they were trying to buy Christmas trees, and they still have like one little twig for a Christmas tree. They just don't have them, and they line up lines to try to get a Christmas tree. And you know, we're so spoiled here, and they're so happy with just one little twig, right, Steve?
I don't remember any of that. When were you there? Last year?
Longer than that. But
Okay. I don't remember any of that.
about
Okay.
Linda, let's hear a little bit about you and your background. I've been reading quite a lot about you, and you've had quite an adventure.
My life has been one big adventure. I've reinvented myself a couple times over. Still have time, I think, to reinvent myself at least maybe 2 or 3 more times.
I love it. I love it. What was your most exciting venture? Now.
You know, I think my most exciting adventure was raising children, which because
Oh, how many?
You're 3. I have
How
3
many children?
children, and
3?
I have 5
Oh, wow.
grandchildren. And the thing with
Me
that,
too.
and the reason why I say that, there's many reasons, but my children are my greatest teachers. And so it doesn't matter what adventures I've had in my life, where I've gone, where I've been, what I've read, what classes I've taken. My kids, what they have taught me, what they have, helped me to rise up to, has superseded any of those other things. So there's a plug for parenthood.
Wow.
Amazing.
And how come you're so beautiful? You look like a...
How come she's so
Actress.
beautiful, Steve? Can you
What's up? What's up with that?
It's because I'm 1/4 Hungarian.
That's it. That's the answer. You gave the right answer. Hungarian women are gorgeous.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So,
And you only have a quarter. So, wow.
So your venture was with children, and of course, we met, actually, Linda and I met at a, I don't know what you call it, networking, whatever it was. I happened to be there because I was starting a new program called it was the 3 easy ways to modification. So I was sort of spreading my wings to see who needed modifications and who didn't, and that's where I met you, Linda. And you were in something very unique. Tell me a little bit of how you got into Strongbrook Corporation, because they're pretty amazing of what they're doing and how they're helping people like you. And I don't want to say the older generation, but starting to think of retirement.
Right. And I have to say that, I started, thinking about retirement, when you get to be 55, towards 60 years old, and you've gone through the 2008 crash, like so many baby boomers and, everybody went through. I actually lost like 30% of my portfolio, which was mainly invested in mutual funds and those types of traditional vehicles. I could see that with the accumulation,
that you only lost 30, Linda.
Pardon me?
Most people lost half of their 401ks and investments.
Well, I feel pretty blessed because there I was, and I knew that the retirement portion of my life, I wanted to have a lifestyle where I could bring about some things that, I wanted to happen. I didn't want my lifestyle to change. I wanted to leave a legacy for my children. So how would I accomplish that? How would I get there? And I knew that real estate was the vehicle. I knew real estate was the vehicle.
How did you know real estate was the vehicle when real estate was going downhill? I mean, from 7, 8, it's been going downhill, and you saw the opposite side of that.
I did, and, something Steve said earlier sort of reminded me of the reason. You were talking about how people are actually committing suicide or, going into a great deal of depression because they lost their homes. Well, if you look back at the Depression in the 30s, when all that was happening, real estate was the way most of the millionaires were made at that time. And today, the 10% of the wealth in this country is held by a group of people, and that group of people, or 95% of them, are real estate investors. So it doesn't take you don't need to be a physicist to figure that out, that there is money to be made in real estate. And actually, there's money to be made in real estate in any market. Steve was talking earlier about the economy that we have right now. It's a bad economy or a good economy depending on your perspective. There's always money to be made in every economy. And it just happens to be, what is your strategy? So when I was introduced to Strongbrook, and I was introduced to their strategy, and I saw that it was working, it was like really a no-brainer for me.
And that's how you got involved. Who introduced you? How did you manage to do it? Of course, you decided you want to invest in real estate because you felt, you were thinking of the Depression many years ago, and you thought, wait a second, if it happened then, and this is what they're talking about, it can happen again. So you felt that it would be better for you to invest the money you had left, which is 70% of your money still, that you could invest it in real estate.
Let me tell you the little story about how all this came to pass. I actually had 2 really fantastic mentors in my life that were real estate investors. And one of them introduced me to real estate education, which I needed to be educated. So I took a real estate education course and found out that it was way too hard for me to put deals together, a team together to do this myself. So then he put together something where he got together with a couple of people, and they were doing fix and flips by buying properties at the auction in Norwalk, California. And so I invested with him, and I made some money on that. But that dried up
Would
Because
that be when you talk about Norwalk, you're talking about when they used to go there, they used to sell the property on the steps?
absolutely, that's
People don't understand that they actually sell property on the steps. They actually all stand there on the steps and they sell the property. And it's something that we always think, no, it's an office, it's a big building. No, it's not. It's right on the steps. And they have all these properties.
Is this an auction? Are you talking about an auction?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
They actually auction everything else. They're in foreclosure or whatever the case is. And also a lot of the tax people, you can also get a great bargain because they're owned by the tax, right? There's a tax auction going on. There's a tax auction going on in San Diego this weekend.
yes, interesting, isn't it?
Well, it isn't, because people don't understand that you really can actually go to the steps, the government steps, and actually buy a piece of property.
You can. But if back up to that, it's a lot of work and a lot of risk that's involved with doing that because you've got big players there, and that's what happened. It became well known. There were so many foreclosures, and there were so many people saying, if Tom, Dick, and Harry did this, I can do this too. Well, they go down there. They're not as prepared. They don't have this particular software to track things properly. And what happens to them is they overpay. And then the big players come in and, out.
But Linda, isn't like this is how everything works. It doesn't matter what you get into. You can get into buying a restaurant, and if you have never run a restaurant, you're going to make a whole bunch of mistakes first.
Oh, you'll be in big trouble.
But that's part of the learning process. That's part of how. Do you think when I first started this network, I actually knew what the hell I was doing?
Yes, we all do that.
No, I didn't. 9 years ago, I had no clue.
So it's a process, I understand. And, that was my process. I did the real estate education thing. Then I got involved with fix and flips. I did make some money, and then I started losing money towards the end because the prices of the homes were just going up too high. So then I was introduced to Strongbrook through another real estate investor, a very seasoned one, person I respected greatly. And he said, come investigate this company, what they're doing. I want you to come check it out. I know the people; they're good people. I like their strategy, their system. They have a system in place. Just come check it out. I was skeptical, I got to tell you, because there's always this control thing. It's like I want to do this myself, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I want to, let go of that control thing. But you at some point in time, it's like, how long? Go ahead,
Linda. There's this other thing, I think, also, that there's been a lot of people that have sold lots of systems before and run away with people's money.
Oh yeah.
So people get, how do I say this? People have their protections up.
They get wary of them.
Yeah, people have their protections up when they introduced to these things because people hear lots of horror stories. So how do you get over?
You're right, Steve, out there. There's many, many scammers out there. There are so many. And on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on all these, there's all these enticing things that go on. And you've just got to be very skeptical as to who you're going to do business and who you're not. And I'm surprised, Linda, that you wanted to go back and listen to this guy just for the sake of listening to it after you just sort of bought some homes and lost some money, but you didn't give up. You felt there was still something there to learn and something there to do.
Absolutely. But I have to tell you that, everything you've just said is very, very true. And I really, really encourage everybody to do their due diligence on, anything that they're going to put their money into, of course. Let's be smart about it.
And how do you recommend them to do that, Linda?
Do their due diligence? Just do your research. Start getting to know the people that are involved in this company. Check out their website. Go online. Do whatever you have to do to satisfy you. Let me tell you how skeptical I was and what I did before I got involved with Strongbrook. Okay?
Yeah.
So I go and I meet the people. I see the presentation, and I get on the telephone, and I speak with the representatives from the company, but that's not good enough for me. I took my sweetheart, Howard, and I said, we're flying to Orem, Utah, which is where the company headquarters is. We're going to spend a couple days there. We're going to meet the principals of the company, get some education, see how this...
How it works. Yeah.
How this
Just
works.
Make sure they have what they say they have, right?
Let's meet the people.
Yeah.
And so we flew there. We spent, it was amazing. We were picked up by our coach, which is something that you receive when you become part of Strongbook. You receive an actual professional coach who coaches you. He picked us up from the airport. He took us out to dinner. He took us to our hotel. He drove me by the hospital that my grandson was born in, because it just happens to be that my grandson was born in Orem, Utah, which is such a coincidental thing. It's amazing. And then the next day we spent 2 days getting to know the principals of the company and hearing, the education and what their system was. And they've been in business. They've been doing this for 5 years now. And, there was the social proof there. There were other people there, too, that had the same experiences, had positive experiences. Actually, I was, after going there, I was sold. These people...
What about Howard? Was Howard sold?
He was, and he's a tough customer.
Yeah, well, I've met him. I don't know how tough he is in real estate, but he looks like he's got his own opinion.
He does, and he's
Don't we all?
Yeah, yes. So that is, that's how I kind of, how we got started, is we actually went there after having, I would say, about a 6-week weekly conversation on the telephone with the coach before we ever engaged, and then flew to Utah.
And then what did you do? Did you end up trying to buy a house, or how do they work their system? I know a little bit about it, but I want you to talk about it. But their first thing is to buy a house, correct?
It's not the first thing. There's a lot of preliminary things before that. And one of the things that I think is really awesome is that they provide you, they have a proprietary software that they use to create a 5 to 10 year game plan, which is a strategy for you to get from where you are now to where you would like to be in 5 to 10 years, using real estate as the investment vehicle.
And is this something that it sounds like this is actually definitely for the older retired people that have got money sitting wherever they're earning maybe 1%, 0.5% on it? This is a good vehicle for them to get into, invest, save their money, have their money, and then they've also got real estate. Is that sort of where you're going?
It is an ideal vehicle because there's a lot of people out there, especially baby boomers, who have money sitting in 401ks, IRAs, savings accounts that are making 1, maybe 2%, and the return on your money it's proven with real estate, with the kind of real estate they're doing, far exceeds what you're getting in the marketplace, other marketplace right now. So for baby boomers, it's fantastic.
And the reason being is because do they buy up in bulk? Because like we were talking about the steps where the little guy cannot buy, and then the big guy can buy like 10 or 12 houses at that whenever, or now it may be a little less, but they can go and buy in bulk, and they can actually give the cash and buy the house, and then you come along and then you can buy it from them, correct? So they become their own mortgage company.
Yes. They're big players at the auction. They also purchase properties through on the MLS. They use short sales, but they're big players at the auction, and they have specific markets that they're working in, and only those specific markets that fit their criteria.
And how does somebody like you say? Well, say. My sister says she comes along, she's going to start investing in everything, and then she's got as far as you've got, and then she's going to how does she or would she look at the sales prices around the area or whatever it is and see the cost of houses around the area and what she should pay for that house? How can she get into that to find out if she's not paying too much for this particular house?
Okay, so hang on for a second. So Linda, let's back up for a second.
Okay.
So before you, I know she'll get to your question in just a minute. We just gone way too far down the road. Okay, so you mentioned this proprietary software.
Yeah.
Now, in order for you to benefit from all of this, do you have to join some kind of a membership?
Not to benefit from the game plan. No, that's absolutely free. They offer that freely to people, so that people.
Where do you have to take out your checkbook and write a check?
Down the road, after you do all your investigation, you get your game plan, you see where, what your path is going to be. Then, in order to have access to their services, which I'll talk a little bit more about what the services are, then a professional services agreement needs to be purchased. It's a one-time professional services agreement, and that's actually where the checkbook comes out, or the credit card.
Okay, got it. Okay, go ahead. I just wanted to make sure that we're not misleading any of our viewers here. So I just want to make sure that
we're going to get to that.
Our ducks are in the road. In the row.
Because there are actually two programs, isn't that correct? Well, those two programs, you can join both of them, or you can have one. You can buy houses, or you don't have to buy houses. You can bring people in to buy houses. Correct?
That is correct. That is correct.
So there's two programs they can go on. So let's continue your program. I was asking how can they, the customer like yourself, the older customer, how can they know and how do they find out if they're paying the right price for the house, for their own due diligence?
I think the logical answer to that is, connect with a realtor in the area that we're focusing on, and see what kind of prices they come up with. There's websites where you can go on and check out the MLS, and you can check out.
So there are places they can go and check out. They don't have to. They don't have to live under a stone, and they don't have to believe everything they're told. They can go out and check it out. Because I happen to know that this company actually sells the houses much less a price than even if you did go to buy them off a real estate agent. If you went to buy the same house off a real estate agent, you might be paying $50,000 to $100,000 more. So I happen to know that they can go in and they see the price of this house. They're oblivious of what prices are out there. So so that's a good idea. So if they go to a realtor, I'll just call them up and say, I'm thinking of buying a house, and what are the prices in this particular area, which is a house they've already chosen to buy through Strongbrook, and then they can check it out. Great, that's good information out there.
Yes, absolutely. That's one of the really positive services that they bring forward is you are able to purchase a home below the replacement value. So, when we go to buy a house, we always have to have it insured, and it's insured at its replacement value. So when you can see that you're buying the house for way below the replacement value, you've got something going right there.
So what are we talking about? Wholesale? Is this a wholesale price?
Well, that's so funny. That's what I came up with.
Sort of wholesale. There's a lower profit margin. Yeah,
but they have to make money too. Not everybody makes money. Not everybody has to make money. Not just one or two. So obviously they have to make a profit. So they're buying it at the right price. When they sell it to you, that's where they make their profit, and then you also make your profit. You buy the house. Is it not also that you could actually have this house and put a new loan on it?
Absolutely. One of the
take the money out of that house. You could probably take 40 or 30,000, 30 or 40,000 out of the house. Go and buy another house.
that's one of the whole strategies is with Strongbrook, what they say is buy the first house correctly. It will lead you to buy all the other homes.
Yeah.
So that is absolutely correct. You buy the house, you buy it correctly, which means at the right price, in the right neighborhood, and so on and so forth. And then you take the money out of that house, buy another house or two.
Absolutely. Now, also we've also got this Strongbrook company. They also actually it's like if I'm correct me, it's like a package deal. They will buy it for you. They will sell it to you. They will rent it for you. It will all be cleaned up and repaired for you. And all you do is put the down. You have to have the down payment. There is a joining fee, I believe, for Strongbrook. I don't know what the fees are, which we don't have to discuss, but there is a joining fee, which is not very much actually, but they do all the work for you. So if anybody out there is thinking they're old or, oh, I can't be bothered and I can't clean it up and I can't do that, they actually manage the whole thing. And then after it's yours, because now you own it, when you've bought it, you actually own it. They've dismissed it. It all belongs to you now. And I think it is for 8%, they will take care of the house completely for you. If the renters move out, they'll move somebody else in and clean it up. Correct?
Right. Strongbrook Property Management has the contract for 8% for them to, and they do a great job, by the way, because we have two properties in two different states through Strongbrook. So I can testify, as a person who actually has gone through the whole process and has dealt with the property management companies that they are dealing with. So. Yes, it's a great thing for people who are saying, you know what, I'm a professional, I have a full-time job, I want real estate, I don't have time. Strongbrook has 200 real estate professionals on the ground doing this. This is a machine. Finally,
it's definitely a machine, because a lot of these people are old. The last thing they want to do is be jumping on planes all the time to go and check their property out, and all they have to do is make a phone call, because they've obviously got a manager in all these different cities, and they tell them, check out my property, and blah, 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 and it's all done for them. And it's increasing as well, because property will always go up.
Yes.
Steve, do you think property will always go up, Steve?
No, it doesn't always go up. It goes up and it goes down.
Yeah, but eventually it goes up.
It's a roller coaster. It's always changing, just like the stock market.
So it's a matter of buying it at the right time.
And selling it at the right time. That's
you
correct.
got it.
and this is the right time.
Buy it when it's low, sell it
when it's
high.
Right.
There's a lot of people out there.
And don't get emotionally involved like men get with women.
Oh, you know, my husband would buy property, and I said, oh, it's a beautiful piece of property. He said, don't fall in love with any piece of property because I'm going to sell it. You know, my father did the same thing. My father was an antique dealer, and he'd have all these beautiful tables and all this china. Well, one week it was there, the next week it was gone. So I've learned not to fall in love with anything. Well, take that back. Few things out there I fall in love with. But you learn not.
So hang on for just a second. Something just came to me that I wanted to share. So,
Good.
Because I totally agree with you, Linda, about making sure that everybody does their due diligence. You have to do it. It's not optional. And the reason I wanted to share this little story, because even if you do your due diligence, there is still not a guarantee. And I just want people to know that in the back of their mind, that everything is going to work out. There is never that kind of a guarantee. So don't go into it that way. Anytime we do anything like this, it's a risk. So this is going to be a short story, I promise.
I agree with you.
After I left one of the biggest banks, I used to work for banks that is not going to be named, but they're too big to fail. I got involved with a mortgage organization that was national, and it was multi-level marketing. And I did my due diligence, and I went to Atlanta which is where they had their headquarters. I checked out their office, everything checked out. I even went to the owner's home that was 48,000 square feet with everything you can imagine in the home, including a bowling alley.
Okay, where are you
Guess
going?
what? 2 years after I got involved with them, they went belly up.
And why?
Well, primarily because we had 2008 that occurred.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
So-
I thought you meant it was
so-
recent. I thought you meant it was like
No.
in like
No,
20,
no.
30 years ago.
The
but no,
reason,
it's not.
no. The reason I brought up the example is that you can do everything you can do in your power to check a program or a system or whatever out.
Yeah, I would just like
It's
to
not
point out, I
a.
love
It's not 100%.
I love what
Go
you
ahead.
just said, but you have to remember, with this company, you actually own the house yourself. The house is actually, from them, is sold to you. So now it's up to you as the individual to take care of it. This house now has nothing to do with them. You don't even have to take on their management. You don't have to do anything. They are just the instrument for you buying it, in a passageway to buy this. But if you don't want their management, you don't have to. And if you want, and this is now your house. So you're right. This is now their responsibility. And you're right, Steve, because if you don't look after that house that may be in Ohio, wherever the house is, then you've got a problem. You've got to look after it. You've got to look after anything you have, and you're absolutely right.
Yes, I totally agree with you. And, you know, you have to weigh the benefits against the risk with everything in life and, you know, make your own personal decision, you know, as to what you feel is best. But I say the time is now to really take a look at investing in real estate in particular markets, because real estate is on sale. I don't think this market is going to last forever.
No, it's not.
I
You're right.
think it's a great opportunity. There will be other opportunities, there always are. But, you know, I think that one of the reasons why I feel really passionate about this message, and I'm really grateful that you're able to let me express it on your show, is because there are a lot of people in my age group, in the baby boomer age group, that are really wondering what in the world they're going to do when Social Security, they have a Social Security check coming in that's not going to provide enough for them, for sure.
Who says it's coming in?
And,
No,
and
some more
I
people
was
coming in.
just going to say, and even that is not for sure. You know,
So
we
this
know
is
that.
so you as a and also I'm saying as a woman, because there's a woman, you know, out there, still a woman is a woman is a woman, and we still have our little fragile sides to us, thank goodness, and we still, a lot of us remain as women. At the same time, a lot of us don't have husbands or boyfriends or whatever the case may be, so we're independent of everything. So therefore we got to start thinking. And if we have not been left enough money, or we haven't been left a pension, or whatever the case we haven't been left with, we have to start thinking now, even if not before, of how we can secure our years to come. And I think real estate, with the price you buy real estate now, because it's still low, and as you said, Linda, it's going to last maybe 3 or 4 years more, and then you can still buy real estate, but it might not be as big a profit as it would be now. Because what you buy now, what it's going to be worth in 5 years, you'll be surprised.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, we could probably say comfortably that we kind of bottomed out in real estate right now.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
We
you
have.
think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So also, I'm curious about how the both of you, because you are women, and you're different than men. How do you make decisions? Do you make them based on your logic, or do you pay attention to your intuition, or do you use both? Or maybe there is another method. I can't wait to hear it.
First. Or I'll go first if you want, whichever, because I have a great
please.
answer for you.
Go.
All right, I'll go. Well, we go on both. Remember, a woman, you know, a woman gives birth to the children, so her intuition 24 hours a day is always top-notch. If a child is in the house and it's her child, she knows exactly what that child's doing 24 hours a day. So her intuition of listening and paying attention and doing things, she's already clued in way when she's born. She's already clued in as a woman. And then I think it's her instincts of suddenly realizing, and I'm actually going through this, that when a woman gets older, I don't know if we get more fussier as of to the man we want, but we seem to dismiss this man thing and we become independent. And the longer we're alone, the worse it becomes, because the more we want to be alone. And it's like, yeah, I don't want a man in the house. I've got to clean for him. I've got to cook for him. I've got to become a nursemaid. So we look at this, we've been there, done that, we don't want to do that. So we then think, okay, so if we don't want to do all that, let's be logical. So I think women become very logical, and I think they always have been. And you know the greatest saying, Linda, behind a great man is a woman. And I think it is that way. I truly still believe that. So, yeah, we are very logical, Steve. That's my answer. Linda?
So in your case, there is a great woman behind a woman.
Yes.
There you go.
Right, we've always been that way, right?
Yeah, I mean, our sense of, as women, our sense of intuition is it's highly tuned, and so it's an advantage, really. And then with age comes a lot of what you were saying, and the logic, the wanting to be independent, and how are we going to get to that place? And we need to use and surround ourselves with, successful, smart people, do, a lot of investigation and all those kinds of things. But our intuition will tell us, when I know myself, when I have resisted mine and gone against it, things did not go well for me. So.
So you also use both? You use logic and your intuition?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, women are very logical, Steve. Women are very, very logical. They all are. They might not say they are, but they definitely are.
I thought women were emotional.
Well, they're emotional too, but let's stick to the logical of it. Yes, we're definitely emotional. We're feminine.
Okay.
We have to have that little tear thing going occasionally,
All right, I gotta share this because this is really cracking me up. So I was having a conversation on a show the other day, and the subject was, is there anything that women cannot do that men can? And I wasn't able to come up with any. I wasn't able to come up with anything. And the question was asked the other way. Is there anything that man cannot do that women can? And it was obvious. I mean, we can't birth a child. I mean, you have a tremendous advantage, women do, in terms of your ability to birth a child. And with that comes, you have a tremendous ability to birth projects, because it requires the same energy, same way of being. Like the way you take care of a child is the way you take care of a new company, the way you take care of a project, the way you do all those things.
Beautifully put, Steve. That is beautifully put. And I think if women understood what you just said, wow, they'd be buying all the real estate.
Yeah. So let me tell you, yesterday I found something that women cannot do.
Uh-oh, what is that?
Are you ready?
I don't know.
Yes, I'm ready. I took a deep breath. I'm ready.
Yeah. You cannot become the Pope.
That's not true. There was a Pope one time. Many, many, many years ago, and I was listening to it yesterday. There was one woman Pope, and I'm overstepping my mark here, but that's okay. There was a Pope at one time.
A female Pope.
Yes.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
I'm going to research it.
I'll have to check it out. And the reason why it became obvious is I was watching on the news yesterday that the current Pope resigned, and he'll be in there until the end of the month. And I looked at all the cardinals behind him, and they were all guys. I didn't see one woman.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's because none of them have allowed it. It doesn't mean to say they can't be it. It's they haven't opened that gate which is a lot of things that women haven't been open to, but because of whom we are and who we feel we are now, that we're opening up all those gates, as well as staying and remaining, I hope, very feminine, because that's the biggest challenge for women, is to take all this responsibility on and have all these things going and remain feminine. It's a tough one to go through.
That is very true. Well, I think that this conversation, I'm hoping, I really would like to reach out to the women that are listening on this show to really stand in their power and investigate things like the things that we're talking about today.
Yeah, real estate.
Real estate in particular, and this way of doing it so that they can be the independent women that they want to be, have the kind of lifestyle that they want, leave a legacy if that's what you want. Everybody has a different why. Everybody wants something different.
Of course.
So, and whatever that is, bless you on that. But may you achieve it and get there. But I think this is a great message and something to look into.
And giving them the gateway to open that gate and go out and do it. It's okay. And if you make a mistake and you don't do it right, it's okay. Men do that all the time. We just don't hear about it because they will not tell us.
Oh, come on.
God forbid they
I
can tell
admit
us
to
we made
you,
a mistake.
all the mistakes I make them daily.
Yeah, so do I. I make mistakes daily. But you know,
It's okay.
unfortunately, you know, isn't it funny, Linda, how the only way you learn is when you make a mistake, you do something good and it's gone. It's like, oh, great, I did that good. That's one of us out the window. You make a
If
mistake,
you're not
you think,
making
well,
any
that's okay.
mistakes, if you're not making any mistakes, anybody that's listening, that means you're not doing anything.
That is right.
Linda, I guess the best place for everybody to get to this program or to get to this Strongbrook program would be www.strongbrook.info/NDD. You got that, guys, out there? I'll do it again. www.strongbrook.info/NDD. And they can get all the information they need from there and become super mums, super grandmothers, and really not worry anymore, because there's a lot of single older women out there, and but also men. I mean, you know, we're talking about women, but men can do this too. You know, they've got a little cash that they don't know what to do with, and they could do the same thing, right? Right, Steve?
Well, absolutely. I mean, the worst place you can put your money right now, as far as I can tell, is in the bank. and in the stock market. So if you're putting it there, not a good idea.
No, not at all. So invest it. And you were telling all these different accounts they have, Linda, that they could actually take it out of there and invest it in this program and in real estate and really have a reward after doing it.
Some people don't realize that they can actually tap into some of those vehicles that they are using right now and self-direct them and use them to buy property with. Take more control over where your investments are going, the direction they're going in, and where you're putting them into. So they're over at Strongbrook, they're really have a large expertise with regards to that area. Of being able to help people, you know, tap into what they have now if they want to use some of it for real estate.
I mean, they don't have to use all of it. They could use, you know, start out with, as you said, one home and do it that way. I know you've had a lot of people that have come in and they've loved the program. They've brought up 4 or 5 homes in one foul sweep. But there's some people that do that because, I mean, what does it cost when you think about it? If you wanted to buy a home for, well, say 150, because you deal in mostly, what, 150, $200,000 homes?
In the markets that we're talking about right now, actually they're much cheaper than that. They're somewhere around 95 to maybe about 115,000.
Okay. So then they need to put what, 20% down? So they need 20,000. and then
Right.
costs and different things. So to round the figure off is about 25 to 30,000. They can do just one deal and see how it works. If they like it, move forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the word that's coming to me is diversify. So we're not
Yeah.
saying you need to take all your money out of the stock market, you need to take all your money out of the bank. Just have many eggs and many baskets.
Yeah, don't have all your eggs in one basket. You're right, Steve, and you're right. You don't do that, and some people can buy more or less. But it's a stepping stone for freedom.
Yes, and
Excellent.
it's a stepping stone to financial freedom, and I'm glad that you brought that up. I really believe that it just makes sense. Spread your money around and put it in different vehicles. Buy real estate, put it in the stock market if you want to.
Buy gold, whatever.
Do whatever it is that you feel that you're drawn to, that you have a good connection with, that you feel good about. And I'm talking about feelings here. And it's not all just logic. It has to do with feelings. What do you resonate with? And I think you'll do well with things that you resonate with, of course. And so yes, spread the wealth around and make sure that you're getting the benefit from a lot of different areas in your life.
Great. All right, so what I'm resonating with right now is doing our commercial message for a sponsor, creditcleanup.com. So, and the way I've been doing it lately, and I'm going to do it the same way again today because I feel I really resonate with it. I resonate with it. So if you are thinking that the banks and the bankers really care about what your credit score is and that you have inaccurate information on your credit score, on your credit reports, I have news for you. They don't really care. And also the car dealers, the finance people at the car dealerships, they're not invested in you having a perfect credit report.
They don't
Make
care.
sure that everything is accurate. They don't care because it doesn't matter what you got. They have a program for you. And the more inaccuracy is in your credit reports, the higher interest they can charge. What a system we have.
So they
In
want
fact,
to keep
I'm
it
finding-
down, right, Steve?
I'm finding that this is one of the reasons why our credit reporting system is not getting overhauled. Because guess what? It's broken. 70% of the information on everybody's credit reports, there is inaccuracy in every credit report. So also this brings me to being responsible. And what a way to connect this to the State of the Union address today. I think if I wanted something the President to say today, what I would have him say is every citizen in this country needs to become responsible for themselves. Do not depend on the government, that the government will take care of you. Depend on yourself and do the things that you have to do, that you feel, that you resonate with, that you have to do to look out for your own interest, to look out for the best interest of you.
Yes.
And I believe since we have 42 million people with less than 620 credit score, you need to pick up the phone or go to the internet, creditcleanup.com, and start your project.
Yeah, can't they get a
Women?
free report on that too to start with?
Yes, yeah. They can show. The company will show them, everybody, how to get a free credit report, at least for 7 to 10 days, and without signing up for anything, and get started on your own. So if you don't want to talk to anybody about, you feel guilty because you have bad credit, you don't have to talk to anybody if you don't want to.
It's all done
You can
automatically
process it.
for them. They
You can
can actually do
process
it
it yourself.
themselves.
Yes, they can process it themselves.
Good. Good.
Okay?
So where do they
So
go?
they go to creditcleanup.com. Get it done.
Get it done. There you go. There you go. Do you have any little shout-outs you want to give there, Linda?
Hey, I like what you just said, Steve, because you have to get your credit in order if you're going to buy real estate, right?
Yeah.
You do.
Amazing. It's connected to
Absolutely.
everything we do.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
Thank you very much for having me on the show. I'm not sure if we're concluding or not, but
We are.
okay.
Soon. Keep going. We've got time.
Okay. I just would love for Ninan to just give that link one more time.
Oh,
In case
okay.
anybody listening, I'm going to say, in case everybody listening is wanting to check out what we've been talking about.
They can check it out. They don't have to join. It's not going to cost them anything. There's a bunch of people there. There's, as you said, there's a 200 staff. Anybody to help you there. There's loads of people to help you. No obligation at all. So don't be afraid that, once you make a phone call or once you go onto the website and you click a few buttons, something's going to happen. Nothing. You can just mosey through it and see what's going on. It's www.strongbrook.info/NDD. Okay? So is that okay, Linda? Did I do it right?
You did it great, and I feel really good about this show and what we talked about, because I think that Strongbrook is one of the ways that people can take back their financial destiny, and it can alter your financial destiny in a really positive way. So I feel good about it, because not just for myself and the experience that I've had, but I'd like to help other people, or just offer them something that maybe they didn't know was around.
That's right. Spread the message. Spread the message. And we're not really gearing on to women, but since, we have Linda, myself, and Steve, well, we are sort of backing the women up there a little bit to make sure that if they do have some money floating around, not all of their money, just part of it, and just start dibbly-dabbling and just see something, a different adventure, a different something to do and to feel strong. Hey, all right, Strongbrook. There you go.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, Steve, how are we doing?
All right, awesome. I think we're at the end of the show. Thank you so much, Linda, and thank you, Ninan. This was, I think, very informative. I believe we provided lots of value and served our viewers greatly, which we do every Tuesday evening, always at the same time at 9 p.m. Eastern, at 6 p.m. Pacific, and 7 p.m. Mountain. Come back next week and have some fun with us.
Oh, we will. I'll be there, you'll be there, and Linda, you'll be making plenty of money on real estate.
Yes, and to all of you as well. Take care, and it was great meeting you, Steve. A nice Hungarian man. Couldn't ask for
I
anything
didn't realize. 2 Hungarians. What am I
Thank you,
doing
Linda.
here? I'm an Englishman. Oh, my goodness.
And beautiful Ninan. Take care of the both of you.
Thank you.
Wishing you the best. Good night now.
Good night.
See you all.
Watch the Maxed Out Money Hour Internet TV show program All About Money with your hosts Ninan and Coach Steve every Tuesday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central at realcoachingradio.net.
Today's podcast is brought to you by ObesityHotline.com, the silent killer, providing support and encouragement in the prevention of this rising epidemic. Featuring the Body by Vi Challenge. Is there a quick answer to the question? Go to www.obesityhotline.com. You're watching and listening to Conscious Evolution Media, shifting global consciousness at ConsciousEvolutionMedia.com.